I swear to God, I'm the only person I know that can start at 5 o'clock in the morning and still be late to their own show. God, I am so sorry. I apologize. Let's dig into it. Let's dig into it. Good morning, everybody. We are going to have some fun today. We are going to have some fun today. This is going to be a fun show. We are going to get to dunk on Trump so freaking hard. I'm telling you. If you haven't been following what's going on, Trump is attending the Supreme Court oral arguments today. It is freaking hilarious. He is desperately flailing for attention some way, somehow. If you folks are not, you folks aren't the stupids. You know how the Supreme Court works. There isn't going to be a hearing and at the end of it, a ruling. That's not how the Supreme Court works. They're going to have oral arguments today, and Donald Trump is going to sit there bored out of his damn mind. And people have been trying so desperately in the Trump sphere to make a thing out of this. They have really wanted to, trying to exert he has strength and he's, because people are saying, this is kind of a violation of the separation of church and power, the separation of powers. This is really kind of spitting all over the separation of powers. I mean, he's the first president that's ever actually done this. But yeah, his followers are trying to pretend like it's a big deal. I want you to just imagine for just a second Donald Trump having to sit through hours and hours and hours of oral argument and control himself. Because this could really blow up in his face, because if he can't control himself, they will remove you and they will remove him. I mean, this is just it. This is another one of those things where Trump's in desperate trouble and he wants some attention that makes him look like a tough guy. But yeah, people are really dunking on him about this. Everybody in the legal community has been dunking about this. And then you've got Harmeet Dillon here, his assistant AG, that is trying to actually, puff him up and make him look like there's literally a chair set up at SCOTUS for our president to sit in for oral arguments. Your separation of powers nonsense is more imitation, pearl clutching couture. It's not. There isn't a special chair for him. He's going to have to sit. There's a gallery there. There's two podiums with timing lights on them, and then you've got the Supreme Court that sits in their days up there. They've got all their chairs lined up, and no, they're not. There isn't a special Trump chair. No, he's going to have to sit in what is an uncomfortable wooden bench, basically, for hours of mind-numbing argument on birthright citizenship. And he's not going to be able to control himself, and he's going to lose on top of it. This is just cut and dried. The Constitution couldn't be more clear on this. It is a very short sentence talking about birthright citizenship. A lot of people are really wringing their hands about this, saying, "Oh, the Supreme Court's going to find some way to give Trump the power to be a fascist and this, that, and he's trying. Don't get me wrong; they're trying very hard to be fascist, but no, they're failing miserably because they are miserable failures." Oh man, that's hitting good. How's your coffee this morning? Oh man, hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope it is better. I hope you're having a good cup of coffee today because this is just going to be fun. This is going to be fun. It is. Okay. Th- this might piss you off if you are like Mrs. Texas Paul and a Survivor fan. This is another stupid miscalculation on Donald Trump's part. Yeah, are any Survivor fans in the audience? And take a second, by the way, to hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get as many people as possible in here. Let's get the momentum rolling. We're 7 months from the election. It's time to get to work, people. But any Survivors fans in here? Because you're going to love this if you are. Donald Trump is going to preempt Survivors tonight to talk about Iran. He says there's an important update that he wants to talk about. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. He's going to get on there and he's going to babble and he's going to whine and he's going to bitch and moan and cry. All the while, millions of people that watch Survivors are going to be furious, furious, furious because everything else he does about Iran comes via post on his failed social media site. They're going to be I'm telling you, man. I am telling you. Survivor, don't fuck with Survivors fans. Just don't do it. These are some loyal people. So yeah, I mean, it's just one disaster after another, after another, after another, because the guy is in deep shit. He is. The polls have come back and it is on, man. It is on. This is what is driving most of this. Let me find that. Um, this is what is driving most of what you're seeing. You're seeing both MAGA and the press turning on Trump. No, really, no, really. It's getting ugly out there for him because of this. I mean, people have taken a look at what not only is he doing at the midterm, but he has sunk JD Vance for 2028. He is biting into JD Vance's numbers at this point. And the Republicans around him, MAGA, have figured out this isn't getting any better. It's getting stupider and stupider and stupider and stupider and stupider. Yeah, we've got a problem on our hands. And it started with the lightweight. They call them the manosphere. That's your Joe Rogan types, your podcasters that have started to come out, and it was the invasion of Iran for most of those guys who've started talking crap about it. But it has gotten serious. It has got into the deep, deep, deep MAGA sphere. I'm talking about the sewer section of the MAGA sphere. You've got Mike Cernovich. You folks will know who Mike Cernovich is. We've talked about him before. This guy is just he's disgusting. He is really just disgusting. One of the most conspiracy theory nutter freak. Ooh, that is some bright sun. Conspiracy theory nutter weirdos out there. And he is saying Trump is done. But I got to tell you, what came out yesterday, did not see this coming. Did not see this coming. This is Alex Jones on his whatever it is now.
Ankles swell up 3 times the size they were before. That means heart failure. And he does look sick. And he does babble and, sound like the brain's not doing too hot. And so we just cut bait on Trump and we just mobilize against the Democrats. Ankles.
Yeah, I thought that was AI at first, but no, that is really Alex Jones saying what old Texas Paul's been saying for a long time. Trump has puddings for brains, and he's dying. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm sorry, the Schadenfreude, it is just glorious watching them scramble and jump ship and turn on that sorry, no good bastard of a president that we have. It is so much fun to watch this happen. And the most fun, folks, is watching the press turn on him. That is fantastic. You're going to love this here. You're going to love this. First, I want to read some of your comments. I don't want to get behind on your comments today like I have been. I do apologize for that. Martin, welcome. Gifted memberships out there. If you're watching this on replay or you're watching live, you don't have a membership, there are free memberships available. Just hit the join button down there. It's right down there, Don't worry, nothing automatically happens. You get to make the choices. You may have to make a change in your settings on YouTube to allow yourself to receive gifts to grab one of these, but there are free memberships out there for you to have. Very, very, very generous people in our community are buying you memberships to the show, so you have full access to everything. Yes, please. Kismar. Coffee. I am telling you, it's been good today. Mike Daly, the dim morning, brother. Glad you're here. No worries. I'll be late to my own funeral. Greg Edmond, good to see you. Canadian brothers and sisters in the house. Elbows up, baby. Elbows up. Got you covered, my friend. Got you covered. Scotts, good morning from McAllen. The blue thorn in the foot of Texas, man. I tell you what, that I'm telling you, we're a community here. That's our people. We've got people down there he's down in the valley. McAllen is down by the border. He is down in the valley. You want to talk about agriculture, what's going on agriculturally? That is always in the tops of the news there, man. Ask Scott if you got any questions. I'm telling you, he'll know. Mike Daly and Trump at Supreme Court will look like Thomas asleep. No shit. That's going to be this was stupid on their part. This is going to be a disaster for them. He is not going to be able to control himself. He has been spouting nonsense about birthright citizenship. Well, that was meant for slaves only. Dumbass, they wrote the Constitution before slaves were free. Yeah, you're a dumbass. No, the part of the Constitution they wrote about birthright citizenship, no, that had nothing to do with slaves. Jordan B. Miller, Trump will claim victory in the first minute and then spend an hour and a half complaining about his ballroom. Yep. Yeah. He's an idiot. He is an idiot. E.T., too bad by the way, just put a pin in it. This wasn't something I planned to talk about during the show, but you brought up the ballroom. Yeah, they've frozen construction on that. And Trump's like, well, it was private donations funding it. You can't control that. Yeah. Yeah, because you don't own it. You didn't have the right to tear it down in the first place. That wasn't your property. Renovations go through Congress, dumbass. ET, too bad they don't allow cameras in the SCOTUS. Is the special chair going to be a high chair? Is it going to be the SCOTUS April Fool? No kidding, man. No kidding. It is going to be. I wish we could see that. I would love to be a fly on the wall watching Trump sitting there trying to, trying to make arguments. I feel so sorry for our solid. I don't like John Sauer. I don't, but our solicitor general having to make those arguments with Trump sitting there not being able to control his mouth is going to be just spectacular. Cape Maryland, how many drugs do you think he will be on to stay awake? He's not going to stay awake. He isn't. He just isn't. Dick Ola 100, someone will have to wake little Donnie up after the oral arguments. Yep. And you know what? He's going to embarrass himself because he's going to want to talk about it afterwards. And he doesn't know shit about oral arguments in the Supreme Court. He just doesn't. He's an idiot. He was an idiot before his brains turned to pudding. He doesn't know shit about Supreme Court oral arguments. And that's going to be on full display because it's going to bother him so much, the process. It is going to irritate the fuck out of him. Anybody that doesn't, with his personality type, can't sit through something like this. Why are you letting the black woman talk? It's going to just annoy the living piss out of him. Forgive me. I grabbed one of your cups today. My cups are double-sided. I don't have the logo on the back of my cups. My cups are double-sided. I accidentally grabbed one of your cups today. I didn't realize it was. Never mind. Anyways, my cups are double-sided. Mine don't have the logos on the back. That way I can hold them in my left hand and you still see the logo. I'm doing great today, man. I'm doing great. I really am. Summer Perone, solidarity from Canada to our Southern brothers. I'm glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. I am so proud of our international audience. I am so proud of you people. I brag about it all the time. It is so, I say it every time. I know it's like beating a dead horse. I know it is. But having y'all here and y'all's voices in the live chat, if you're watching this on replay, you've got to have the chat panel up. You just do. It is more than half the show. It is. You've got to, yes, I'm going to talk for an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe longer. But what's going on in the live chat? These are above average people. You want to be privy to those conversations and having those voices coming in from Europe, from Africa, from Australia, it is priceless because we Americans tend to be a very isolated people. So hearing your voices is, again, it's just priceless in the conversation. It is. I am so glad you're here. New West Bill, thank you for supporting the show. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you always being here. Hermana of Delphi, sister, good to see you. Trump, the perennial victim. Yep. Chandra Patton, good morning to all. The Ogre's speech is getting worse. Sounds like someone was slipping dentures. Yeah, he is having problems. And I mean real problems. What Chandra is talking about here, I was watching video clip. I'm trying to figure out what I wanted to. I don't like to hear the man's voice. You don't like to hear the man's voice. You don't like to hear him speak. So many of those video clips, and again, I'm not going to play them. I'm not, but they're there on social media if you would like to see. He slurs all the fucking time now, all the time. He is dying right in front of us. Tony Mason, I heard that he is going to pull the U.S. out of NATO since they won't help him clean up his Strait of Hormuz mess, then declare victory over Iran. We're going to talk about that very thing today. A couple more comments and we'll get back to work. E.T. Jones, it takes one crazy person to see another. Yep. Terry Wacker, welcome. Glad to see the new members. Always glad to see the new members. Yoda Be Wise, thank you very much for turning me on to Kitty Town Coffee. I love Kitty Town. I do. Folks, y'all have been so generous and so kind with the coffee that you send me and finding all of the. I had no idea about Kitty Town or Flip for that matter. I didn't know about Rocky before you folks turned me on to it. But yeah, Kitty Town is great. They sell coffee. It's great coffee. I can get pumpkin spice year round from Kitty Town. And I'm a pumpkin spice addict. I just am. My wife's saying, "Oh my God, they're going to send more pumpkin spice coffee." She hates the stuff. I love it. I do. I drink it year round. I do. And I can get it year round at Kitty Town. But yeah, it's good coffee, man. It is. I was amazed when I first started doing this show. I thought it was hip because, I knew about Bustelo and a couple of, Jamaican, Green Mountain and a couple different, I thought I was hip, man. I thought I had no idea the amount of coffee knowledge that you people had and the number of local roasters that y'all were tuned into. I mean, talk about changing your life, man. I'm telling you. Welcome, Terry. K Plumber out with the big support. Bam, bam, bam. One more comment. Thank you, kid. That is huge. That is huge. That is a lot of support, and I'm truly grateful. I'm truly grateful. Lenore Banks, U.S. is FUBAR. Even if we vote our way out of this, the U.S. will never have the power. It will never be the power it is now. It will take a lot of work to rebuild relationships. It will. It will take a lot of work to undo a lot of the damage, the tariffs. I want you to think about the next president, how much time they're going to have to put in to eliminating these ridiculous tariffs, bringing tariffs down, rebuilding trade relationships, rebuilding trust. I mean, hell, look at how much we disrespect our Canadian neighbors. And these are our best allies. Imagine the amount of work we have to do all around the world. But I tell you, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. This is Katie Tur talking about Donald Trump and how he's just lost his damn mind. You never hear the press talk about him this way. I'm telling you, the things they are a-changing.
All right. The thing is, the company that makes Sharpies told the Washington Post the conversation the president said he had with the head of Sharpie about those pens never happened, which means if true, he made it up and interrupted a cabinet meeting to tell a story he fabricated or hallucinated about his favorite pen. Again, this is not the first time he's been caught making stuff up. Here he is talking about Maryland Governor Wes Moore last summer.
I met him at the Army-Navy game. They said, "Oh, there's Governor Moore. He'd love to see you." He came over to me, he hugged me, shook my hand. You were there. He said, "Sir, you're the greatest president of my lifetime."
Okay, so Wes Moore quickly came out and said that conversation was imaginary. It never happened. The month before that, the White House.
I love that laugh. I do. I love that laugh. Couldn't help herself. That laugh right there. That little short. Yeah.
Struggled to defend a story the president told about his uncle, John Trump. He had claimed taught Ted Kaczynski, aka the Unabomber, at MIT, except John Trump died more than a decade before Kaczynski was identified, and Kaczynski never attended MIT. He's told that story multiple times in the past.
Yeah, we've talked about that on the show multiple times about the fact that he is just delusional, makes shit up, and people keep attributing to, well, he's just a liar. No, he is. He's been called out on this multiple times, and he still tells this story. His uncle died a decade before Ted Kaczynski ever became a thing. It was even in college. I mean, no.
I could go on, and, I will for a moment longer. There's the yarn he told about a former president recently telling him they wish they had Trump's courage to go into Iran. They have all denied it, all the living presidents. There's the one where he claimed Tucker Carlson reached out to
Yeah, let's stop that for just a second right there, because that was one that the press just completely let go. They completely ignored Donald Trump claiming that he had spoken to a former president, and a former president told him, "Oh, I wish I had your courage to go into Iran." Yeah. MSNBC has absolutely 100% just they went back, they talked to all the former presidents said, no, that never happened, ever.
Where he claimed Tucker Carlson reached out to profusely apologize amid a MAGA split over U.S. involvement in Israel's strikes on Iran, which Carlson has flat out denied. There are also the countless stories about his friends, who are getting cheaper, quote, fat shots overseas, or the friends who claim they've illegally seen illegal voting, or the boat company owners who complain about electric engines and then praise him for being smart enough to ask about electrocution and whether it's better to be electrocuted by a boat battery or eaten by a shark in the ocean. While a lot of this has always just been part of who Donald Trump is, a man who works the room, seeks attention, seeks applause, he's now about to be 80 years old, and he's launched a war that he does not seem to have a plan for.
Now, I got to say, I was slightly disappointed at the end there when she said that he doesn't seem to have a plan for it, because she really set it up to just point out that he is not there. He is just cognitively gone. And yes, he started a war. But this, folks, I have to tell you, even though it's MSNBC, even though it's NBC, Katie Tour, pardon me. Yeah, you have not heard any media outside of what, Rachel Maddow? Maybe one or two. And the rest of the media has been, well, let's both sides this, and well, the president's point is this and this, that, and the other. This is a tone we have not heard out of the media before. This is punching Trump right in the frickin' eye, and I am here for it. Between that change of tone and what you're hearing out of MAGA, I've got to tell you, I have enjoyed the shit out of prepping for this show this morning. I have. And on the, kudos to Katie Tour for coming out and saying it. But, yeah, along those lines, Trump just released this. Iran's new regime president, much less radicalized and far more intelligent than his predecessors, not less radicalized, actually, he is far more radical than his father, Ali Khamenei. He was the go-between between Hezbollah, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, all of these groups and his father. No, Mustafa Khamenei is not less radicalized. He is far more aggressive than his father. And well, look, let's just focus on what he said. Has just asked the United States of America for a ceasefire. I'll take things that didn't happen for 800, Alex. Yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. It's just, again, delusional, made up shit. It is a chronic liar mixed with somebody that has severe dementia. We will consider when the Hormuz Strait is open, free, and clear. Until then, we're blasting Iran into oblivion, or as they say, back to the Stone Ages, President Donald J. Trump. At the exact same time, he is putting shit like that out. Now, keep in mind, he just made it up. He just pulled it out of his ass. and sent that bullshit to MAGA. So your crazy ass drunk uncle is going to be coming at you with that. At the exact same time, he's saying this.
Because there's no reason for us to do this. Look, problem with the strait, a guy can take a mine, drop it in the water, and say, oh, it's unsafe. It's not like you're taking out an army or you're taking out a country or they can drop it. Or you can take a machine gun from the shore and shoot a few bullets at a ship, or maybe an over-the-shoulder missile, small missiles. That's not for us. That'll be for France. That'll be for whoever's using the strait. But I think when we leave, probably that's all cleared up. Today, I heard tremendous numbers of ships were sailing through. We're negotiating with them right now. They've been, again, we have had regime change. Now, regime change was not one of the things I had as a goal. I had one goal. They will have no nuclear weapon. And that's because there's no reason for us to do this. Look, probably.
All right, let's pull this apart piece by piece, okay? I didn't want to interrupt it while it was playing. I know y'all, it frustrates y'all. I get the emails. I understand. I get that. So we'll let it go through. And I just want to pull this apart piece by piece. Keeping in mind what he just said, you will open up the Strait of Hormuz or we will just keep bombing you and we will. He just released that. And keep in mind, he's going to have to talk on this subject tonight in prime time to pissed off people who are angry about what he's doing to frickin' Survivor. But yeah, just let's just tear this apart piece by piece.
With the strait, a guy can take a mine, drop it in the water, and say, oh, it's unsafe. It's not.
Okay, no, a ship mine is fucking huge. You can't just take a mine and drop it in the water like you're in a fucking rowboat. No.
Like you're taking out an army or you're taking out a country or they can drop it. Or you can take a machine gun from the shore and shoot a few bullets at a ship. Or
well, you can try that, but it's fucking useless because, you know, while the Strait of Hormuz looks small on a map, or, you know, the crayon briefings that he gets, it's more than a mile to a ship. If they're really close to the shore. The actual shipping channel is not right on the shore. You know, it's more like most of these ships are passing 5 to 10 miles out. So yeah, just pew, 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 pew. Yeah, you get it.
Maybe an over-the-shoulder missile, small missiles. That's not.
Somebody watched a movie lately. An over-the-shoulder missile. Are you talking about an RPG, a rocket propelled grenade, or are you talking? What are you talking about? You think that they, you know, like an old, you know, 1980s action movie where somebody stole a Stinger missile and they're going to shoot it at a boat? I mean, this guy's a freaking moron.
For us, that'll be for France. That'll be for whoever's using the strait. But I think when we leave, probably that's all cleared up. Today, I heard tremendous numbers of ships were sailing through.
This is the one we really need to talk about. This is the one that is all over the place on the right wing. It's open. They went to Ship Finder. You know, I've showed you several of these things. And it shows ships moving around. But 3 ships sailed into the Persian Gulf. None sailed out. None. But all of these right-wing propaganda accounts are showing this little, you know, it's a good time frame of the amount of ships that are moving. And there's a lot of ships moving around in the Gulf and, you know, out by Oman. But only 3 ships ever go through the Strait of Hormuz, and they're going into the Persian Gulf, not out. So yes, this is a talking point they're trying to push. And it's like your own video clip shows you're wrong. But good Lord, it's taken off on the right wing. The strait's open. Didn't you know? The strait's open. The president said so. No, watch. the video clip. They're getting roundly rolled on any social media platform that is not X, or even on X. I assume they are. There are some left-wingers left on X, but if it's not some bullshit right-wing only social media site, everybody's rolling them saying, did you actually look at your video clip? It shows no ships have left the Gulf. But yeah, it's happening. And this is a talking point that they're really pushing, folks.
We're negotiating with them right now. They've been, again, we have had regime change. Now, regime change was not one of the things I had as a goal.
Okay. When this first started, they said regime change is not our goal because they were hit with that. Then Israel attacked Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's compound, killing him and several members of his family. And then this administration said, well, of course, regime change was our goal. Of course it was. We're going to have a new, more friendlier, more responsible leadership. I'll probably pick it. You remember him saying that? I'll probably pick the next leader of Iran. And then somebody sat the dumbass down and explained to him that, oh, wow, shit just got much worse. And they went from, oh, yeah, regime change was the goal. And you remember the clip. We showed it here where Trump says, well, we had a guy in mind, but, oh, we killed him. Y'all remember that clip? Y'all remember that clip? So we went from regime change is not the goal to, oh, absolutely, we meant to do this, to, well, regime change was never really the goal, but, we accidentally killed the guy that we wanted, but we'll probably pick the next leader, to, oh, shit, look who this next leader is. We may have to kill him too, to, oh, this guy's much nicer than the last one. And this is where we're at now. This guy's much nicer than the last one. We didn't ever really want regime change. Pudding for brains. Yes, pudding for brains. And while he is saying that out of his mouth, again, we're seeing this, putting in writing. He says this. I want you to think about this. Think about what he just wrote about how, oh, we're just going to blow up Iran and until the strait is open. And, oh, I think ships are already going through, and all the delusions and shit like that. Then he says this, all of these countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, what? Oh, it's closed? Okay. Like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran. Wait a minute. I thought that you just said that wasn't your plan. You just said that wasn't your plan. Which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran. I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the U.S. We have plenty. Okay, you're telling me you don't understand global oil markets and that they already fucking buy from the U.S. And that's not the problem. The problem is you've just choked off 10 to 20% of the world's oil supply, driving up prices for everyone, because if they can't get it out of the Gulf, they're going to pay whatever it takes to buy it from, yes, us and Russia and anywhere else they can get fucking oil, you moron. And number two, build up some delayed courage, go to the strait and just take it. Oh, wait a minute. Why don't we just take it then? I mean, if it's that easy, we've got a far superior military to any of our European allies. I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean it as an American that is just angry about the fact that we dump so much fucking money into our military. Ask the people, and this is where we need to talk about, this is where talk about this with the audience. Our European folks, that information going both ways. No, most Americans are not like, oh, wow, yeah, we just spent $1.2 trillion on our military this year. Woo! That's not where most people are. They're like, what the fuck are we doing? But yeah, we've got a pretty kick-ass military. We do. But sitting there talking about, well, just go take it. Well, why don't we go take it? We'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your own oil. And that was preceding this. That was preceding this. Dumbass Donnie is really pissed that this is blown up all over him and gone so badly. They really thought, again, just to reiterate to some of you that are new to the audience, we're growing every day. For you new people, we've talked about this before. They thought this was going to be like the last time they bombed Iran. It was going to be in, out, and that's it. That's it. We're going to make up a few lies in the press, talk about all this, amazing shit that we're going to claim we did, even though we can prove that, the press is going to say, just like the nuclear facilities they claimed to destroy last time. The press was like, they're still there. Iran says they're still there. We've got satellite images that say they're still there. And then the Trump regime was like, oh no, destroyed them all. Until like a week ago when they were telling you they had to do this to destroy the nuclear facilities that they had already claimed that they had destroyed. Yeah. But yeah, he is having a hissy fit that this is blown up on him so badly. So he is thrashing and threatening to take us out of NATO. And he's really pissed because Europe's response has not been, oh, yes, please, let us go get into your stupid idiocy. This is Keir Starmer and his response. If you're unaware, Keir Starmer is the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
President Trump has said this morning that he's considering pulling the US out of NATO. You've just talked about looking at a new long-term partnership with the EU, including on security. Is this an acknowledgement that Britain's long-term security relationship with the United States is about to change?
Well, let me say a number of things in response to that. Firstly, NATO is the single most effective military alliance the world has ever seen. And it has kept us safe for many decades, and we are fully committed to NATO. Secondly, that whatever the pressure on me and others, whatever the noise, I'm going to act in the British national interest in all the decisions that I make. And that's why I've been absolutely clear that this is not our war, or we're not going to get dragged into it. But I'm equally clear that when it comes to defence and security and our economic future, we have to have closer ties with Europe. That's why we had the summit last year. This year, as I've just announced, there'll be a further.
Okay, you get the idea. It's what we've talked about. It's what we've talked about for a very long time. Europe, because of the last Trump administration, has been very actively working on plans about what to do about what to do in a post-U.S. military environment. They have. Now, these are intelligent people. Trump made it very clear that unending relationship is ending. That there are people in this country that unbelievably can get voted into office that are very anti-NATO. that may not be there for our allies. Yeah, this is something they had been preparing for from the last Trump administration, and that's what Keir Starmer's talking about. They're moving forward with that. They're moving forward with that. And what they're trying to figure out right now for our European audience is they're trying to figure out how to sell it to you, because it's not cheap. It means catching up on some technology. It means investing money that you guys don't want to invest. And I don't blame you. It's stupid money to be spent. It is. But that's where they're at. That's what they're doing. They're doing it slowly but surely, but they're trying to figure out how to sell it to, the political reality is you've got old timers that, folks, America doesn't have a monopoly on old, stupid bigots. We don't. There are old, stupid bigots in France. There are old, stupid bigots in the UK. There are old, stupid bigots all over Scandinavia that are like, but my heritage, I'm not European. I am Finnish. I am not European. I'm French. I am not European. I'm Spanish. Those people exist in every country, but the leaders of those countries have figured out a long time ago that they've got to be a little bit more homogenous when it comes to defense. They have to be a little bit more like the United States when it comes to defense. There is a price to be paid for that politically, and they know it. They know it. The anti-immigration people, the same losers that we have anchoring us here, the same stones around our neck we have here, they have there. And anytime these European leaders talk about something sensible, like increasing their defense budget so that they can work and working within the European Union framework to develop a mutual defense, a unified defense network. These bigots, they rail on it, man. They rail on. No, we're not here to defend Germany. Germany is, we're not here to defend Poland. Poland's problems are Poland's problems. We're French. That shit sells in elections. Marine Le Pen just yak all day long. I love that. Worldwide Cletus. Yep. But that's what they're doing. That's where they're at. They're figuring out how to sell it to you. Meanwhile, our idiot president is saying stuff like this in the middle of an Iran. All right, who's our allies? All right, this is. I want a response from you in the chat, please. In this attack on Iran, we have some allies there. Who are they? Israel, of course. Who's our other really big ally? I mean, we've got the other, Iraq isn't much. Bahrain isn't much. UAE, bingo. There it is. Saudi Arabia. No, Australia and the UK. This is why he's talking about leaving NATO, Grace, is because he is really pissed that they're not jumping in on this. Bingo. That's more accurate than I expected, but the perfect answer. Given that situation, that Saudi Arabia is really our biggest ally in the region behind this, Trump said this.
He didn't think this was going to happen. He didn't think he'd be kissing my ass. He really didn't. He thought he'd be just another American president that was a loser, where the country was going downhill. But now he has to be nice to me. You tell him he better be nice to me. He's got to be. But it was really something I He didn't think this was going to happen. He didn't think he'd be kissing my ass.
Who do you think he is? In that speech? He was Mohammed bin Salman. That's who he was talking about in that speech. Mohammed bin Salman. All right, this is why that's a big deal. Yes, Mohammed bin Salman is a psychopath. He does not take criticism well. This is Jamal Khashoggi. He was a journalist that dared to write critically of Mohammed bin Salman. And Mohammed bin Salman had him strangled to death while his security people that strangled him to death, he had the phone held up to Jamal Khashoggi so he could hear him being strangled to death. And then, of course, y'all know the rest. There's a reason they call him Mohammed Bonesaw. He had him chopped into pieces and disappeared. But literally had a phone held up to him so that he could hear him being strangled. Mohammed bin Salman is a psychopath. He is an extreme narcissist, just like Trump. And Trump just went on the world stage and said that. He didn't think he was going to have to be kissing my ass. He didn't think he was going to have to be being nice to me. He thought I was just going to be some other idiot president that he could just treat like shit. And our soldiers and sailors are in Iran right now, or not in Iran, they're off the coast of Iran. They're all surrounding Iran. How do you think Mohammed bin Salman is going to react to that? Because again, the U.S. corporate media is not going to make much of that clip. They're not going to do it. They carry water for this administration. This is huge news. If Joe Biden or any president had said something like this, it would be the lead story for a week. They would be in Saudi Arabia with a microphone in any government official's face that they could get into is saying, how do you feel about that? But because our corporate media is in the tank for Trump, you're not even going to see this. They're not going to talk about it. But you know who is? The press all over the world. Everybody that is not U.S. press is going to talk about this. And yes, Mohammed bin Salman is going to see this. And yes, he is putting our troops in danger because he is a narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic fucking idiot with pudding for brains who is dying right in front of us. And Republicans are figuring it out. They are. They're figuring it out. They are figuring out that the damage she's doing is permanent. Katie Dotson says, fact bad idea. 18-inch wood bats are affordable and still a head knocker. Check Amazon. It's a thought. It is definitely a thought. Glenn Kaneko gifted 10 memberships. I got a lot of interest in that. But yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do it. Jordan B. Miller. Hopefully Trump will start snoring in the Supreme Court. This is going to be humiliating. He's not going to be able to sit through oral arguments. You just know it. Kate Marylight, I was thinking about tonight after the day in court. Yeah. Rock and Ron, thanks for the support, brother. Paul Law, will SCOTUS act different with Trump there? I doubt it very seriously. They may actually have him ushered out of the room. They're very strict about people talking. God forbid your cell phone go off. Yeah, I mean, it is really, they're very strict about that. Tiger Butterfly on the 25th, if 18 Super Hornet was shot down and crashed in the Indian Ocean, no reporting here in the USA. I reported on it last night. There's so much that happens that our news just doesn't talk about. E.T., if Vance had been smart, he would have invoked the 25th before the first bombs had fallen in Iran. Now he's screwed. People get involved. Amen. Kenyan Diva, thanks for the support. Cannot do it without you folks. I just can't. Omniscient Sphinx, Trump went to the Supreme Court and is trying to intimidate the judges. At the same time, we have Boobgate, and God, the memes are going crazy. Yep, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. If you don't know what Boobgate is, we're going to get to that here in just a second. George Leidenweber, thank you for the support. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you. Kath, 4650, correction regarding the 14th Amendment. Watch Heather Cox Richardson from last night was passed after the Civil War to fix Dred Scott, etc. You're absolutely right. New West Bill, I am impressed how well his staff can cover for him top shelf. George, thanks for the support. I really appreciate you. Marcia, glad to see you. 3-month membership. Jordan B. Miller, to be fair, Trump never said a former live president. Yeah, he was talking to himself. Thank you, Marcia, for being so generous with the memberships. Barbie, as a female, I feel Trump now has prolonged any chance for a female to become president through ruining the Middle East relationship. What do you feel? Prolonged, I don't know exactly what you mean there, Barbie. I don't know what you mean. Has the chances for a female president decreased? I would say right now, people are scared. People are really wanting, they're going to elect a white male Democrat. That's what they're going to do. Do I think this means we can't have a female president? No, I don't think that at all. I think this awfulness that we're dealing with MAGA, the pendulum always swings, and it swings wider than you would expect. So yeah, do I think we'll have a female president in the future? But I think our next president is going to be a white male. I do. George Leidenweber, did some firewood splitting jobs, a few bucks for the cussing jar. Thank you, George. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. D. Canyon, the living president he's talking about is himself when he was number 45. He's a child. Yep. He stood in the mirror and had a conversation with himself. Richie for Congress, Ohio. Starting on January 3rd, when I assume office along with the new Democratic majority, we will impeach the entire cabinet. I'm telling you, brother, you would have a lot of support. George Leidenweber, yeah, this is right. Wow, LJ Jones gifted 20 members. There are free memberships to be had out there, folks. All you got to do is snap them up. Just hit that join button. Do what you got to do to make sure that you can receive gifts. They are free to you because of our generous community. DTQ, everyone's starting demanding Trump support. Supporters prove their support by enlisting. Amen. You want this war so bad? Go fight in it. ET, just like the world will not trust us for a very long time, the same will be for us, not trusting the mainstream corporate media for a very long time. There's something I want to check real quick while we're talking about this. Yep, I knew it. Wall Street are like a dog chasing the fake throw. They're like a dog chasing the fake throw. This is the Dow right now because Trump is talking about abandoning the fight in Iran. They think it's going to be a good thing. Wait till you see what happens when they see how Iran reacts after we bail. And it's just Iran and Israel, and that's it. No one else is involved. Wait till you see how the Dow reacts to Iran taxing oil. Because that is exactly what they're going to do. That is exactly what they're going to do. They're going to sit there and they're going to demand $1 million a ship. You're going to have $1 a barrel Iran tax of everything that comes out of the Gulf if we walk away. This is a shit show. This is a shit show. I wonder what oil's doing right now. Yeah, it's dropped about $1 a gallon, or pardon me, $1 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate's trading at $100 a barrel right now. Still high as hell. It's going to stay there for a very long time. It is going to stay there for a very long time. Chris, coming in late, starting over from the beginning. Welcome, brother. Enjoy. Spicy Jester, Donald Trump's golf tab to taxpayers hit $100 million. In other news, Kid Rock wasted taxpayer money to do a photo shoot with Army helicopters for his music video. We are not the same. No, and you know what? Keg breath. They opened the Army opened it up an investigation into that. If you don't know what happened, some Army attack helicopters buzzed over the top of some No King's Day protests. And they also flew. Kid Rock lives in one of the mountains in Tennessee. It's cheap real estate compared to, trying to live somewhere where his industry is actually prevalent. Yeah, he lives up on a mountain in Tennessee. And we had a couple of attack helicopters fly up to his property and hover off the side of the mountain so he could go and film a reaction to it, which I'm sure he intended to use in a music video or something along those lines. Our tax dollars, using our military as props. So people were rightly pissed about it, and the Army opened an investigation, and Pete Hegseth just pulled rank and killed that investigation, which tells you how those helicopters ended up being there in the first place. This is just who they are. They're criminals. They don't give a shit. They're going to do whatever they want to do. They're openly corrupt in broad daylight. That's why we have to get behind Democrats in the midterm so that they can conduct these investigations unfettered. Trump just walked out of SCOTUS. It's not going his way. I knew it was going to be a disaster for him. I knew it. And I love that you people are on top of things. I do. I knew he wasn't going to be able to sit through these arguments. He just, no. Chandra Patton, his fevered dreams are nightmares for the rest of us. True. The entire administration is insane. Jane Deffenbaugh gifted, thank you for gifting the memberships. I appreciate you. Crafty Ass Gardner, thank you for gifting the memberships. As I have said from how long ago, Trump is Krasnov. You could not create, if you just made a list of things that an agent would, a Russian-controlled agent would have to do as president to destroy the United States of America, it would read exactly as everything Trump has already done. Angie Ma 5, Trump threatening to leave NATO this morning on his way to SCOTUS. Will Republicans stop him? Republicans will not do anything. They will not. They're useless. They are bent over. That party is dead. It is just dead. Linda, welcome. Welcome. Skeet Sayre, he has endangered all of us. Gas prices are just the beginning. So many jobs are being lost that the world will suffer for years. I fear the midterms are in jeopardy. Trump is the face, but this is a movement. Nah, at we're going to be okay in the midterms. We are. We are. And let's talk about Trump's last stupid maneuver. He did this. He issued an executive order where he's trying to interfere with the election. He knows he's in deep shit. He knows he is. And he knows the SAVE Act is in deep shit. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what's going to happen with the SAVE Act. I can tell you right now the votes aren't there to pass it. He's got more and more Republicans turning on him every day, publicly coming out and saying they're not going to vote for the SAVE Act. So yeah, he just did this so he doesn't look like a complete loser to his base. He knows this will not stand. He knows he will lose immediately in court. He put out an idiotic post in which he tells everybody that the court is going to strike this down but you have to understand what the whole point of this is. It is this whole Democrats are weak and you can't believe in elections and nobody's going to save you is part of the 2025 project. It is. They intentionally came out to try to put us on our heels, to suppress our own vote, to make you feel desperate, to make you feel defeated. That's what part of that is. And another part of it is to sell to his base so he doesn't look so weak when his SAVE Act fails. Is trying to look like a tough guy. But the third part is the only thing he has that he still relates to with his base is bigotry. And I will tell you folks, I've said this over and over and over again, we cannot get comfortable because that overrides all for MAGA. So he's going to, he's done this. He knows it's going to get knocked down in the courts immediately. So would the SAVE Act, by the way. If they tried to pass the SAVE Act, it would lose in the courts immediately. But the whole point of it is to have the narrative. And I keep telling you folks how important narratives are in politics. It doesn't have to be the truth. It doesn't have to be real. It just has to be a good narrative. And he's going to take to his people that you cheat, you steal the country from them, that they are goodness, they are right. But they didn't lose. They're not losers. You're cheaters. And look, here's proof. I tried to create a database where only citizens will be allowed to register and vote. What's wrong with that? And they're trying to fight us because they want them illegals to vote. They're cheating. They're cheating. They cheat. And here's proof. And his base will not be able to wrap their head around the fact that you can't create a citizen database between now and the elections. If you put the government to work on it full fucking, think about Doge. He's talking about Social Security Administration working with Homeland Security to create a database. These are the same people. Remember when Doge came out and said 140-year-olds are getting paid? And it was just due to COBOL, the programming language. It was just a default code. You're talking about a Social Security Administration with some of the oldest technology in our government, and they're going to try to create a list, an all-inclusive list of every single citizen of the United States. Even if you just set aside the fact that the creation of this list they would try to use to prevent Democrats from voting. If you just set that aside and just say they're legitimately going to try to create this list, they couldn't do it in 7 months. They just couldn't. But their base won't be privy to anything that's common sense. They'll just have the narrative. We tried to just secure our elections. What's wrong with that? And you want to cheat and steal our country from us. There are multiple reasons why they're doing this, but that narrative right there, that's number one. They know when they wrote the SAVE Act, they knew it was unconstitutional. They knew it was. And they know that this executive order is unconstitutional. They just do. And it's about the narrative, folks. It's always about the narrative. But speaking about the narratives, it is not going well for them. It is not going well for them because they're imbecilic. They're stupid. They're dumb. They're failures. They're always going to fail. They're going to do really stupid shit. They've even lost the immigration argument with everyone but their hardcore bigots because of stuff like this. Because of stuff like this. We have a Martinez family. Gilberto has just been arrested by ICE and is being deported. While his daughter, she's an E3. She works on weapon systems, aircraft weapon systems. That's why you're going to hear her called a Navy airman, which is, I know it's kind of weird to hear. She's serving in the Iran war right now. And they're deporting her dad. These are the kind of narratives that work. And what makes them so powerful is it's true. We're not like MAGA. We don't have to make shit up. We don't have to lie to create a narrative. We don't have to pretend we're in negotiations that everybody knows aren't happening. This is really happening. And nobody likes it. Even their MAGA core are saying things like, well, we wanted the criminals and the bad people out. We didn't want my workers to go. We didn't want the people that are following the rules so that they could, come work for us dirt cheap. We didn't want them to go. So yeah, when you see a situation like this where you've got someone actively serving right now in combat operations, I believe if I remember correctly, she's on the Lincoln. She's serving on the Lincoln. That narrative works. And I don't mean to demean the situation down to just political speak and talk about this tragedy, just in the political aspects of it. But, the politics is real. The elections are real. These narratives work. Here's another one that works. It really works. This just came out. Pete Hegseth broker attempted to make defense investment before Iran war, per the Financial Times. Morgan Stanley handles Pete Hegseth's investments. They reached out to BlackRock to try to buy into an ETF. Well, ETF is it's a basket of companies that have stock on their own right, but they basket them together and then they sell that financial instrument as though it's a stock. It's called an ETF. Right before the Iran war breaks out, Hegseth's broker is reaching out to BlackRock to try to buy into BlackRock's ETF, military ETF. But no, it wasn't for sale. It wasn't for sale to the public. So they didn't actually get to buy in. So now we get to investigate whether or not he actually bought other military stock right before the Iran war. These obviously gross trades, these obviously illegal trades, these obviously insider trades are crimes that even Cletus can understand. Even Cletus can understand. And here's another narrative that is just blowing up all over the place. And I have to say, I'm a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed in how this is being portrayed by the media and why, as to why it's happening. We'll talk about that on the end. Just stick with me. But yeah, this is happening. Trump was talking about for some reason, talking about his library.
Your son Eric posted a photo of what will be the Trump Presidential Library. Yeah. It's a huge skyscraper.
In Miami.
Is that all a library? What else is going in?
No, well, it's a library. It's a museum, a library. It's a presidential, but I wouldn't start it till I'm out of office.
I know that audio was a little difficult to understand there in the beginning. The reporter was asking him about a video that got put out about his library, his presidential library. They have been on a big media push about the Trump presidential library and have created an AI-generated video, hence getting us here.
I believe in building libraries or museums. It's really like the Barack Hussein Obama one in Chicago. In not a good location, and it's a very unattractive building that's seriously late and seriously over budget. I think you're going to see a great one here, and it'll go up on time, on budget. Best location in Miami. They say it's the best block in Miami, and the state worked with us.
People live in the floors.
No, it's going to be most likely a hotel.
And there you go.
It could be office, but it's most likely going to be a hotel.
And there you go. There you go. His presidential library is not going to be a library. I don't like to build museums. I don't like to build libraries. I build hotels. My presidential library is going to be a hotel with commercial real estate in it. This is what he was responding to. Here's the video that the Trump organization put out about his library. If you're watching this video on replay, and this section of the video is not there, it's because of the audio. It's because of the music. Hopefully I caught it in time. But yeah, this is the video that the Trump organization put out about his library. Clearly not a library. It's a high rise. It's going to be a hotel. It's going to be a grift. He's got pictures of the old rose garden that he paved over. Before he paved it over. Apparently it's going to be the old beautiful rose garden is going to appear in his library hotel. it's gross and it's ugly. But why are we even talking about it? This happens after. Why are we even talking about it? Why is he talking about Barack Obama's? Oh, the guy that lives rent-free in his head. This is why we're talking about it right now. The Barack Obama Presidential Complex and Library is slated to open early June. The press is starting to buzz about it because it's actually really fucking cool. It is widely considered to be the best presidential exhibit ever created. And he's getting a lot of positive feedback on it. And by he, I mean Barack Obama is getting a lot of positive feedback on it. It is supposed to be just next level technology. The building itself is really freaking cool. They're putting the finishing touches on the building. It's in Chicago, one of the greatest cities in the country. It is in a great location in Chicago. So yeah, Donald Trump has, again, Barack Obama penis envy, is heartbroken that someone is talking about someone else and something else that someone else did that's good. Somebody else is getting credit for creating something really freaking cool, and he can't handle it. He just can't handle it. And that's what I'm going to say about the corporate media. The corporate media is doing a good job of pointing out that this AI garbage that they put out is gross. It looks like shit. It's typical Trump grossness. They're also, much to their credit, pointing out that he's building a fucking hotel. He's not building a library. He's not building a museum. He's building a fucking hotel. Another Trump hotel. He's building a new one in Miami. And you know there's going to be tax boondoggles and all kinds of shit involved. He's going to get one of the Air Force Ones that he's using right now. Remember, I told you, they're being replaced. They're scheduled to be replaced shortly. When they decommission his old Air Force One he's using now, they're going to give it to Trump to put in this building. That is a legit thing they do with old, it's worth hundreds of millions of dollars if they wanted to sell it on the open market. But no, they're just going to give it to Trump to put in his Trump Miami hotel / library. These narratives work. These narratives carry on. So yeah, at least kudos to the corporate press for pointing out how gross this is. But nobody's pointing out that this is because he's got Barack Obama penis envy. That Barack Obama's presidential center and library, everybody is raving about it. Everybody is raving about the interactive exhibits. They're raving about how well it's laid out. They're raving about the refreshment. They're raving about everything. Everybody's saying top notch. Well done. Because the focus was on creating a great experience for you and me. And they succeeded because, it's Barack Obama. It's President Barack Obama. Of course he succeeded. And that is driving Trump up the fucking wall. I'm the builder. No, you're just going to grift another hotel that nobody wants to use into existence. That's what you are. That's what you're doing. Brexit may finally be over and they rejoin the EU. That is happening, folks. That is happening. Tiger Butterfly. China, India got 3-2 ships through paid in yuan, no money. So far, I haven't heard about anything coming out. I haven't. IGL, welcome. And I believe 100%. I am not arguing with you on that. I'm just saying I haven't heard it yet, but I have been hearing that both China has been getting ships out, but nothing involved with Europe, nothing involved with anything that's going to help the oil, global oil prices, nothing like that. India may have cut a deal. They may have. You may be dead right about that. I just haven't heard it yet. Skeet Sayre, since 1979, the right in Canada, US, and UK have worked against left-wing policies. Yep. Amen. LJ Jones, the uber rich have been the problem forever. George, I appreciate the support, man. Been here several times. I really appreciate you, my friend. DTQ, maggots can be embarrassed into silence if you challenge their patriotism. Ask them why they won't fight for Donald in Iran. Yep. Amy, I was so proud of Amy. You should have seen. We had this guy, and God love him. He was living out in conspiracy land. And he was like, you need to talk about this. I'm like, already talked about it on the show. Well, you need to talk about this. And I already talked about it on the show. And then he's like, well, I didn't. And he started talking about he's an independent and he didn't vote for Democrats and he doesn't agree with me telling everybody. And Amy Emanuel went neck deep in this guy. I'm not even shitting, man. I'm trying to have conversations with people, several people, and this guy's trying to dominate it. Amy Emanuel lit into him, took him off to the side, and just literally just lit his ass up about you didn't vote. Your bullshit third party vote was voting for Trump. She tore him a new. I was so proud. I love you people so much. I really do. Amy says, please talk about the idiocy of voting third party. That libertarian who was carrying on about voting machines at No King still has me fuming. I was so proud of you, Amy. I was. You took care of it. You did. Well done. George, Saudi Arabia in support. Yeah, not for very long. Not with Trump's mouth. Mohammed Bin Salman will react to that. He will react to that. I am going to be Googling for the next 7 days. Every 3, 4, 5 times a day, I'll be Googling Mohammed Bin Salman in Saudi Arabia. I will. He's going to react to that. Mr. Knudsen, how long until all of the Middle East turn on Trump? Soon. They're already angry. He's about to bail on them. I will bet you. I really thought we were going to end up with in boots on the ground in a horrible, long, drawn-out war. But Wall Street has been screaming for him to end this at any cost. They're not thinking next step. They aren't thinking about what this is going to cost them, that our energy prices are going to be higher in perpetuity, that Iran is now emboldened. Everything about this is just bad news. They just want it to be over. And man, I am telling you, the Gulf states, when they have to start coughing up $1 million a ship to get their oil through the Strait, and this is all on that psychopath, that fucking idiot Netanyahu. People don't talk about just how stupid Benjamin Netanyahu is enough. We've talked about his background. We talked about, yes, when he was a young man, he was brave, but he was not in charge. He was not in command. He was following fucking orders. Was he brave when he was young? Yes, he was. Yes, go read about the raid on Entebbe. Go read about all of that. You can read about that all you want. But as far as leadership is concerned, he's a fucking moron, and people just don't say that enough. I mean, think about that. Every major decision he's made about Israel's security has blown up in their fucking faces. People just don't say that enough. Benjamin Netanyahu, not only is he a fucking psychopath, not only is he just a complete narcissist like Trump, but he's a fucking moron. Bob Shade, hello from Bama. Preach it, Texas Paul. That's my job, brother. That's what I do. JPR, he should have been yanked out of office and put in a padded room. Why is a delusional, crazy moron taking, I hear it all the time. Why isn't Congress doing something? And I'm like, do you not know what happened in the last election? Do you not know? I constantly get reminded that we're not all the same. You people understand. You know how Congress works. You know who has power, who can call hearings, who can what. Most people don't. Be aware of that. Most people have no idea how our government functions. Mike Daly, I look forward to the day that we don't have to hear "kiss my ass" from POTUS. Yep. Me too, brother. Me too. Gen Xer, good to see you. Trump's endgame is the Monroe Doctrine for the Western Hemisphere. Would NATO go along with this? Canada, Mexico, Greenland not going to fight for their sovereignty? Yeah, this is just idiocy. Can you imagine what the historians are going to write about this? Oh my God. This is going to be blistering. Coffee. I don't know how the pH works in there. Coffee lover. Trump is the charlatan, makes elaborate, fraudulent, voluble claims to skill or knowledge, a quack or a fraud who prates around in his own favor and makes unwarrantable pretensions, a quack, an imposter, an empiric, a mountebank. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the guy talks shit constantly and backs none of it up. I totally get what you're saying there. Skeets here, the evil of MAGA has broken the pendulum, but like you say, ride or die for a better world for all. Yeah, I will never, ever, ever tell you that you're going to defeat MAGA entirely. There will always be some percentage of MAGA there, but we will defeat them politically. We will take power from them, but they will never stop being a threat. That's just not how the world works. George, hey, I got to get me a ride or die pin. You can do that, brother. I've ordered them by the thousands. They are available in the Texas Paul Store, texaspaulstore.com. Somebody link it for him in the chat. Chris Birch, low road Democrat socialist wing. What's up, Texas Paul? Me too, brother. Me too. Me, myself, and I. Welcome. Veggie Owl Girl, people are mad at Donnie and wait until the food shortages. No shit. That is a big deal. Folks, stick with me while I read these comments because a lot of these comments will touch on things that are not part of the show, like that comment right there. Folks, you have to be prepared. Gas prices, when Trump quits, there you go, texaspaulstore.com. When Trump quits, yes, oil prices will come down, but they're not going to come down back to $50 a barrel. That's never happening again. The fundamental problems that they created, the infrastructure that's been destroyed in this stupid war, will keep oil prices up for a very long time. That means energy prices will be higher. That is a drag on our economy. I'm telling you, folks, that is going to translate to even higher food prices than we have now. They're predicting beef to go up another $1 by the end of 2026. And it's already astronomically high. They're predicting bread to go up. They're predicting, we talked about this before. The winter wheat crop is not looking good, folks. It is not looking good. Plus, then you've got additional costs for fertilizer, additional costs for diesel. Yeah, this is going to work into our price for everything. I'm making adjustments. I had plans, things that I wanted to do. I'm scaling them back right now. All of us need to be prepared and very watchful as things start creeping up. Don't get caught with your pants down with your own personal budget. Just don't do it. Be smart. This is why you're here. You're the informed people. You're the ones that are aware. Tiger Butter, please have Amy McGrath for Senate in Kentucky. Have her on the show, or I would. You know what? I do need to reach her. She is freaking amazing. I need to ask her to come on the show. I really do. I love Amy McGrath. I really do. North Swift, since it's the 1st of April, is Trump's address going to be his attempt to stand up? Yeah, no kidding, right? April Fool's Day was a great day for him to be talking about Iran. I don't know, folks. You tell me what you think's going to happen. I don't have a crystal ball. I thought for the longest we were getting boots on the ground. They were that freaking stupid. What do you think's going to happen? You think he's going to announce that he's quitting? Because that's what Wall Street's pressuring him to do. Multiverse tonight. So glad I drive an EV. I hear you, brother. I hear you. We have been planning. We were going to do that with our last car. And we just weren't ready for the infrastructure, to put the infrastructure in the house. This next car, I believe, will be an EV. I believe the technology's there and we're prepared. I'm with you, brother. I am actually jealous of you. Mr. Knutson, will the few centrist Republicans vote for Gavin over Vance or Trucker if they know a Democrat will win anyway? As for female, I want my kids to experience the AOC presidency when she is ready. I hear you, brother. I hear you. What you can hope for, don't look for the crossover votes. Don't do that. When we strategize and plan, we have to plan on our turnout. Don't ever bank on crossover votes. What you can bank on is their voters staying home, being pissed off enough about the higher prices and the shit that's actually affecting them to stay home. And the way we get that to happen is pushing the narratives about the workforce that's driving up prices. They're deporting people that are here legally. They're undercutting agricultural workforces. The problems with rising diesel prices, the problems with rising fertilizer prices. They're making everything more expensive for you. Even Cletus can understand that. The Dow at 50,000 will be just as powerful as you have no cards in the narrative. I realize 50,000 is a psychological thing for some people. Nah, it's not going to be. When the Dow does rebound and go back above 50,000, that will be a 1 day, 2 day story because of everything everybody else is putting up with. It's sitting at 46.7 right now. George, 6 and up here in Cali, Paul. Man, I'm telling you, brother, I hear you. And thanks for all the support today, brother. Sharon Eno, I think if Kamala was running right now, she'd win. And you'll never convince me that Musk didn't rig the election in favor of Mango Menace. They cheated. I won't tell you they didn't cheat, but I will tell you the millions of people that it's on us. We didn't show up. We allowed ourselves to fracture over Gaza and stupid shit. It's on us. It's on us. It really is. And that puts the power in your hands, by the way. If you think, oh, they cheated and stole it from us, you can't control that. But if you grab onto the reality of the fact that we fucked up and we didn't show up, and the combination of the economy didn't feel good because we were choking the hell out of the economy to get inflation down, didn't feel good. And, I mean, if you just combine all the things that really happened together, we can control those. Many of those aspects have changed. And there's hope to winning. There's no hope on the other side of they stole it from us. C7 557 to the member who gifted me this membership. I'm glad to see you here. I'm glad to see you here. ET, the Economist had an interview short with Eurobank lady about how this is going to hit the markets worse than they are showing in the current trading. Yeah, there's no good news on the other side of it. You'll see it spike as soon as Trump runs. If that's what his announcement is tonight, that he is running for the hills, that he's quitting, you'll see a spike. in the Dow and the markets, and then it's going to turn around and all over again because of the reality of the situation that Iran is now in control. Amy, Asylum Street spankers are suing over appropriation of hip hop. That's crazy, man. Bald Thanos, I'm switching to Death Wish coffee today. Might be my final day. I'm telling you, there's so many cool little roasters out there. A couple more and we're going to get back to work. I got more. Stick with me. I got more to talk about. Bald Thanos says, I'm switching to Death Wish. Oh, I just did that one. Sorry, my bad. My bad. Thank you for supporting the show. NYX, all the Trump files data is in Bibi's hands too, and the DOJ. This is just a puppet show now. We have to clean house. You've got to elect Democrats. You do. You've got to elect Democrats. Skeet Sayre, this is Mad Magazine in real life. Yep. Michael Anderson, thank you for being generous and gifting the memberships. This just happened, folks. Talking about narratives. This just happened. This is when they're talking about Boobgate. This is what they're talking about. Kristi Noem's husband accused of living double life as crossdresser, obsessed with bimbofication kink. And yes, this is real. No, this is not AI. And yes, this is really happening. This is just, this is really, really happening. To start with, let's clear up a little bit of misinformation that's going around. Bimbofication, had no idea. Not my personal kink. I got all kinds of different kinks. This was not my kink. So I had to learn about it because there were people that were talking about it that is a kink that is basically abusive and hateful towards women, that he dresses this way to make fun of women. That is not true. That is not true. Bimbofication kink is about emulating women with, you over exaggerate the breasts, you put butt inserts in. It is actually kind of it's a fetish for bimbos, is what it is. It's really not that complicated. These men that have a bimbofication kink, and there are women. You see them, they typically will emulate a Marilyn Monroe, or they will try to look like a Barbie doll or something, you know what I mean? But when it's men that cross-dress, like Brian Noem, they will put huge fake boobs on. Yeah, exactly. Duck lips, massive amounts caked on makeup, hot pink clothing, blonde wigs. These are the kind of, can you tell what I've been doing with my morning? You should see my search history right now. Oh my God. I was really trying to learn what bimbofication was. Honey, we have to talk about something. But yeah, that's what bimbofication is. I don't care. I really don't care what his kink is, man. You do you. And the fact that it's all out in the open, while painful right now, will probably be the best thing that ever happened to you, because you can just go do your thing now, man. You don't have to be hidden. What I'm loving about this story is, one, how it came out. One of the people that and there again, some misinformation going around saying that this was vindictive, that what he was doing was he was living out his bimbofication kink while doing kind of like a live OnlyFans thing with models and prostitutes, and that's a thing. You just pay a woman to do whatever you wanted them to do. He was doing that. Well, I guess he didn't realize. And oh, by the way, he was trying to use it totally secure, didn't have to worry about it because he was using the name Jason Jackson. Nobody was going to figure it out, right? And I guess he never figured out that they record this. Yeah, if you go do some freaky shit with an online person, they're recording it. They're recording you. Yes. So this person turned over all the videos, snapshots, payment histories. This guy's caught dead to rights, 100%. And that's what he was doing, was he was living out his bimbofication fantasy with these women. The reason this person did this, the original story was just a made-up lie. People just running around, running their mouths, wanting to seem like they know shit. They guessed at something, hoping it would be true, and then it turned out to be total bullshit. They were saying it was vindictiveness because it was somebody that a payment wasn't coming through. He was using PayPal. He was using Cash App and all this. And you know how that works. I mean, if you use PayPal and Cash App, it's instantaneous. Didn't quite ring true with me. As I was doing some reading on this, no. Apparently he likes Latinas. As do a lot of people. Big booty. He likes that. And one of them, actually 3 of them now, got really freaking pissed because of her. One, this guy, I don't feel sorry for him because he's a fucking Republican. He's not a victim here. He is just as bad as his wife, Christy. No. Well, the first person that turned this stuff over, it wasn't about a non-payment or something like that. It was because they're fucking pissed at what ICE is doing. This was vengeance for the abuse of the Latino community, the Latina community, and ICE's behavior. And when you see that, it's just, did you really think this wasn't going to come out? And I have to tell you, it lit up a couple of things for me. It did, because we talked about this on the show where I've actually got to sit here and do a correction right now. I said Barbie got fired. Ice Barbie got fired because of the $200 million that disappeared. And we talked about the grift of her making commercials and the fact that she funneled that money to, her friends and shit like that. And that's why she got fired. Oh, no. Shit, you got Pete Hegseth trying to engage in insider trading with BlackRock. You've got, no, the corruption wasn't what got her fired. It was this. Because the reporter that broke this for the Daily Mail hit that portion. There's the investigation, there's the verification, and then you reach out to the people in the story and say, do you have a comment? And the White House knew this was coming out. They didn't give a shit that everybody knew that Kristi Noem and Corey Lewandowski were flying around in a fucking fuck plane. They didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't care at all about that. No. They didn't care about the open corruption of her stealing money. None of that. This they care about. This doesn't fly well with Cletus. This is an embarrassment that they can't get around. And it just tells you we are not the same. We are not the same. Do any of y'all give a shit that this is his kink? I don't care what your kink is. I don't. Whatever you're, as long as it's consenting adults and legal, have at it, man. Have fun. You only live once. As long as it's consenting adults and legal, get as crazy as you want to get. You want to put fake boobs on, butt implants in, wear a pink dress and paint I don't care, man. Have a good time. You only live once. What I do care about is that this fucker, Brian, attacks trans people, that his wife attacks trans people, that he's got a fetish for big boob, big booty Latinas, while also supporting everything fucking horrible that this administration does. I care about that. I care about that. I care about this family values bullshit. You've been curious, where the hell was Brian Noem when everybody was talking about, and you've got Corey Lewandowski and just giving Kristi Noem the freaking high hard one. Where's her husband? Everybody's calling this shit out. These two are like fucking super glued to each other. Where's her husband? Oh yeah, well, now we know. Now we know. Kristi Noem does not have big boobs and big booty. He don't care. He don't care. So it seems cosplay runs in the family. Narratives are everything. And this one has hang time. This is why she got put on the back burner. This is why she got removed out of DHS. This is why, they gave her the shitty job as a Shield of America's envoy, which she'll probably lose now. This is why Corey Lewandowski, who they love because he's a gigantic dick, is out of government also. And you know what I absolutely love is I love the transgender people that are coming out and they're saying, because Kristi Noem's response to this has been, I'm devastated. Our family's devastated. We didn't know. And transgender people that are into bimbofication are saying, oh, you knew. You knew. You absolutely knew. First of all, the fake boobs he has are the size of 2 basketballs. Where do you think he hid those? The fake butt is the size of 2 basketballs. Where do you think he hid those? And most of the transgender people responding to this are like, he's got multiple sets because the dresses don't all fit over each, he's got multiple sides. She knew. They're calling her out, man. I love our transgender brothers and sisters because they will keep you informed. They will tell you all about it. And we're devastated. Our family's devastated. We didn't know. And this, we're trying to please give us privacy during this difficult time. And the transgender community is like, you fucking knew. There's no way you didn't know. That's not his only set of boobs. That's not his only, he's probably got a rack in the closet. He's probably, oh God, I love our transgender brothers and sisters. I really do. Here's to you guys. Keep after them, man. Keep after them. Look, we got a couple breaking stories here that I want to talk about, and then I'll go back and read some more comments. This is something that has really been bothering me. This isn't, when I say breaking, I don't mean it is breaking today. I mean, it's something that came out a couple weeks ago, which is a correction on a previous story from a while back. This is something that really actually has been bothering me. You may remember Havana syndrome. You may remember Havana. This happened. We had several members of our diplomatic staff, State Department employees, spies, that were having severe illnesses, severe problems. And they didn't know how, didn't know why. It was isolated around to the American Embassy in Havana, Cuba. It was around the same time that we were having a diplomatic push with Cuba. And Russia, and everybody was saying, no, Russia didn't want anything to do with this. There was speculation that it was, yes, microwaves. There was speculation that it was microwaves, some sort of microwave weapon, because microwaves, when used this way, it's not like your microwave oven. It doesn't like just like create heat in your brain. No, your brain is electrical. It's a bioelectrical organ. So yeah, they said it's probably something to do with some sort of new weapon we don't understand. And of course, you had some very well Russian funded scientists throughout this. This one happens to be in Norway. No smoke towards you, our Norwegian audience. It's just this particular scientist happened to be in Norway. And yes, he happens to take money from Russia. Said, nuh-uh, no way. It's not a microwave weapon. And remember, I mean, a lot of people poo-pooed this whole Havana syndrome is bullshit because of stories like this just started raining from the sky. This guy took and shot himself with microwaves and said, look, see, I'm fine. And it's a lie. It's not some sort of microwave weapon. Y'all are making it up. This is all made up and it's bullshit. And these people really had a hell of a fight on their hands before somebody really established, okay, Havana syndrome is real. And then, and again, fuck the corporate media for not being louder about this. It started happening in the States. One of our leading researchers, he does a fuck ton of very highly classified work on satellite communications, lives in Virginia, is a government scientist, had 3 separate attacks in his home where he said, man, it was like it was inside my head. It was insane. He said, he explains the different things that happened. And he said, it just knocked me to the ground. It was like losing control of my mind. It was insane. And again, there were skeptics out there that were like, no, Russia wouldn't do that to us. No, that didn't happen. Yeah, they fucking did. They did. They actually, from the Russian mob stole one from the military. We paid $15 million to get our hands on this. And we finally got a hold of it. And turns out, yeah, it does exactly what we've been reporting as Havana syndrome. And it's not the fact that the key part to it isn't that it's microwave emissions, which, again, that straw man, that red herring trying to get people to, look over here, don't pay attention. That's not what was so, which made it such a potent weapon. It wasn't the fact that it was just microwave emissions. The microwave part of it was made with common parts that you and I could get these parts, these emitters. And what made it such a potent functional weapon, and it actually shocked the shit out of Homeland Security how potently effective this was. They tried it out on rats. They tried it out on sheep. They kept going to bigger animals. It's the software that controls it. it varies the frequency and the pulses. It's not just a direct, like, that idiot scientists who say, oh, microwaves can't hurt you. Look, bzzz, microwave. No, it's not that. It was the way in which the pulses were emitted and how that interacted with your brain's operations that made it so fucking effective. And they're like, wow, because this thing will work through bricks. It will work through concrete. It will work through drywall. It will work through. This is really next step. This is old Cold War spies killing each other shit. And we've now caught them red-handed. The problem is who the fucking president is. This is a big deal. They're targeting assets within our government. They've crossed a serious line. This is an act of war. This isn't just espionage. But of course, Trump is president. So we're probably just going to take it. That is a really big freaking deal, people. It is. This just happened. This is another one of those narratives that if you use it properly will pay off big time. Supreme Court ruled against the ban on conversion therapy for LGBTQ plus kids. This is terrible. This conversion therapy, more often than not, is fucking torture. It is. Now, I'm going to tell you, this ruling doesn't make torture okay. We are going to have to be vigilant. We're going to have to keep going after these people. But it does lift the ban on conversion therapy. So they're going to try it again. And we're going to have to send these fuckers to prison when they torture kids because they are not going to be able to help themselves. They're not. They're not going to be able to help themselves. They're going to torture kids. They are. It's who they are. And we're going to have to protect those kids. We're going to have to send these fuckers to prison when they do it because the ban on it has just been lifted by the Supreme Court. That's where they are. That's where they are. They're going to take kids that are just gay. They're just gay. That's it. We've talked about this in the show multiple times, how somebody ends up gay. If you're a fetus with 2 X chromosomes and you don't generate or have a high level of alpha fetoproteins, then your body converts the testosterone to estrogen or estradiol, actually, and high levels of it gives you a masculine brain and a feminine body. It's that simple. That's how you become a lesbian, or in some cases, transgender. You end up with a masculine brain and a feminine body. There's nothing untoward or wrong or anything about it. It's just part of the reproductive process. We are not copying machines. We are chemistry sets. This will happen. It just happens. It's just the way our reproduction works. That's how evolution works. Is these variances happen. So now crazy ass Christian nationalists are going to torture kids for just being who they are. And we're going to have to send them to fucking prison for doing it. When they cross that line, when it becomes not just the parent-sanctioned religious abuse, and it becomes actual torture and actual physical abuse, we're going to have to send these fuckers to prison. And it is a goddamn shame that we have to. This is where we're at. This is we are not the same. This is the difference between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats say you can't do that shit anymore because none of y'all can fucking act right. You can't do that shit anymore. And Republicans are like, oh, yes, we can. Religious freedom. We are not the same. We are not the same. And talking about narratives, this just happened. Texas Army reservist says wife detained after immigration check in Houston while asylum case was pending. Now, look, I want to talk about this in a purely political form. Just set aside just how awful it is that we have a Black Hawk pilot who has served 2 tours, has had his wife arrested, and they're attempting to deport her. Let's set that aside for a second. Let's talk about this politically. It is awful what Christopher Busby and his wife, Stephanie Velasquez, have gone through. It is. It is. But let's set that aside for a second and just talk about the politics of it. Let's talk about why this is one of those narratives that's going to have hang time. She's pretty. And she did everything right. Now, MAGA are terrified of this because they understand. Remember how we talked about this in the show previously? We talked about how anytime there's a victim of a crime and it's a pretty girl and the perpetrator is an immigrant, Fox News is going to run it on a loop. Well, they do it because that shit works. It does. This they're terrified of because he's a good-looking guy. He served our country. She is beautiful, and she's done everything right. And this blows up that bullshit narrative. Oh, we're going after criminals. No, she was at an immigration check-in. She was doing it right. She was doing it right. She was in the system, following the law. Not a criminal, the wife of a soldier. And they are terrified of it. And because they're terrified of it, they're making up bullshit. They're taking advantage of the fact that MAGA are incredibly stupid people. Their narrative that they're spinning is, well, she was there for a checkup because she entered illegally and she was illegal. And that's why they arrested her. That's why she was at a checkup, because you don't need a checkup if you're doing it proper. That's not fucking true. That is not true. That is not true. When you are in the process of becoming a citizen, you have multiple checkups, multiple dates where you just show up and say, hey, are you doing everything you're supposed to be doing? And you prove you got a job. You prove that you haven't broken the law. You prove that is part of the immigration system for everybody. But they're spinning it because their people are idiots that she must be she's illegal. So it's okay. It's okay that we're deporting a soldier's wife. Or as we talked about earlier, a sailor's dad. That's why I tell you folks, do not count on ending MAGA. Do not count on defeating MAGA. These people will tell themselves anything to keep the bigotry going. It's now okay with them that we deport family members of our service members. It's okay. They found their excuse. He was an illegal. She was illegal. They're criminals. It's okay. But folks, that doesn't play with our base. That doesn't play with independence. That kind of narrative gets people to turn out, and they are deathly afraid of Stephanie Velasquez because she is pretty. And that is a fact. She is pretty. He is handsome. They are a compelling story. Mr. Newt's a Norwegian delicacy. Karsk, coffee with moonshine. I'm telling you, I got to go to Norway, man. I do. Weird Idaho liberal. Good to see you, man. The one word I use to describe the cult, terminal. Amen, brother. Glad to see you always here. William G. Atheist, y'all had a U.S. admiral saying, with the way things are going, you are not going to make it till the midterms when you will have 50 million starving citizens. We're going to make it to the midterms. We're only 7 months away. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. Things are going to get more. What you need to be afraid of is we're not going to starve first. We're not. You're going to see countries that are in far worse positions than we are. They're going to start starving first because these are global food markets, and we will pay the exorbitant prices, and we will literally take food out of their mouths, and they will start starving. And then you will see terrorism, and then you will see violence, and then you will see all of the horrible things that come every time Republicans govern. Proud Texas liberal. The entire VA is in Kobo with a graphic face on it. Yep. No way they can come up with a citizenry list, voting list in time for election. This is laughable. It's going to get destroyed, but they will sell that narrative. They will. Taylor Ashwood, can we restore relationships with our allies? That will take time. That will take a lot of, none of this is going to be okay overnight. We got a lot of work ahead of us. We do. ET, ICE at Paris Island Marine graduation for families. Yeah. They were doing that. Our Marines were graduating. And ICE was there to arrest their relatives. Really happening, folks. Really happening. That's how you get those military votes, those young people that don't vote, those young people that just listen to that twisted, warped ass, fucking bigoted, sergeant major that's been there forever and a day, who's a goddamn MAGA suck ass. Instead of listening to him, or the fucking major that's a Trump taint licker that does things like fly his attack helicopter by Kid Rock's house. That's how you win those people over away from people like that. Hey, bud, ICE was arresting people at graduation, a Marine Corps graduation. Yeah, those narratives work, man. And they work because they're the fucking truth. I know, right? Holy fuck, man. Skeet Sayre, the Confederation think that they have won the Civil War, but the 1800s was a long time ago. Cruelty is no longer vogue to try to make black life miserable. Amen, brother. They have been so wrong about this. I didn't mean to go this long. I actually have a segment here where I wanted to talk about it. Ann Connolly, if you don't follow Ann Connolly, she is fucking fantastic. Was talking about some comparison, and I just wanted to run through it with you. I may do it if I have time left after reading these comments. We got a few minutes left. I may do it real quick because I know there's some other programs coming on, and I hate to run over onto their show. Skeet Sayre, he can't even read a book. That is the ultimate hypocrisy. Yep. I know what you're saying, brother. This idiot thinks he's Tony Stark. Marvel is fantasy, and so is Trump intentions. Mr. Newton, Trump is building a stairway to heaven. His personal pyramid is tomb on the taxpayer dime. Yeah, no shit, right? Can one U.S. reporter ask Trump how his ear healed? I know, right? Right? Please tell the ladies on iHip to stop bashing Democrats before the midterms. Yeah, no shit. Thomas Kane, sorry if you already discussed this, but did everyone realize Slump was the first president to attend live arguments in the Supreme Court trying to Pentangeli brothers intimidation technique? Yeah, I know. Yeah, we did talk about that, but yeah, it's worth bringing up again. This is the first guy to break that decorum. William G. Atheist, FYI, look at Canada's Bill C3 immigration bill. It may benefit up to 300,000 Americans if a single grandparent is Canadian, regardless of parent status. Good to know. I may need some Canadian citizenship at some point. E.T. Thing is, how will he, MBS, do something to make it look like Iran did it? People get involved. We have a long fight ahead to fix all of this crap. Yeah, he has just been publicly insulted, and that's not going to go away. Janine, thank you for being here. BB is 1,000 eyes for an eye. Dumb. Yep. Very dumb. Waltine Woods, good to see you, brother. Welcome. Welcome. Steve R2, welcome. Hey, pretty lady. Mr. Knutson, Mrs. Texas Paul, could you set up a EU store so we can buy merch? I need his is he dead yet mug and pin. You know, we actually were selling to Canada for a while. But when the Trump administration, getting things shipped out was a nightmare. It was just a freaking nightmare. And a third of everything ended up broken or smashed. It was a real problem. We'll look into it, though. We will look into it. We will. You know, may find a better option. Monocool, we desperately need someone in office who isn't a moron killing green energy because we need it for this exact situation. Say it louder for the people in the back, brother. Say it louder for the people in the back. Lisa Roney, expect even more prescription drug shortages as well. That is one that I did not touch on. That is a real fact. A huge number of your drugs, sure, we develop them here and the companies are American, but they manufacture them in China. They manufacture them in India. They manufacture them in Thailand. They manufacture them all over the freaking world. And yes, your drugs are going to get more expensive because of this. SFL, stock up on dry food and pet food. You know, I'm not asking you to turn into a prepper, but I'm just telling you to watch what's going on, be mindful of your budgets, and make smart decisions. You are people that are informed, and you pay attention to stuff like this. There are so many people, your kids, they're going to be, you've all got that kid that doesn't pay attention to politics, doesn't pay attention to a damn thing around them. You've all got that kid. We've all got one, or a grandkid. They're going to get hit in the face with this stuff and not see it coming. I got to tell you, I got a grandkid who's the nicest, sweetest person you've ever want to meet. He really has the best temperament of anyone you have ever met. He went off the other day. I'm telling you, these kids are ready to break out the pitchforks. He was pissed talking about affordability. You know, he's in college. He's like, I don't have a fucking job waiting for me. Houses are super expensive. And these rich old bastards don't give. I was like, well, who is this kid? Where is this coming from? I was glad to see it. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, these young folks are pissed. Lance Ledgerwood, awfully generous of you. Awfully generous. Moyo, thanks for supporting the show, brother. Thank you. Can't do it without you people. Mr. Knutson, stellar guy. Those looks good. Those look good on him. I see why Christy married that man. Who am I to yuck anyone's yum? Yeah. Get as freaky as you want to be, people. I don't care. As long as it's legal and 2 consenting adults or 3 consenting adults or 10 whatever your kink is, do it. Rena, I agree. Pointing fingers changes nothing and doesn't prove anything to make a wrong right. Do your work research, all the bills on the ballots and the candidates running, and then vote. Amen. Amen. Are we winning yet? Actually, we Democrats are. Just about every Tuesday, we're flipping seats that nobody thought we could flip. Spicy Jester, breaking news. NBC News reports that Supreme Court justices seem skeptical over Trump's birthright citizenship argument. Yeah, that is plain and simple. It is as plain as day. And yeah. Chief SOB, the most courageous person. The question is, are they going to try to do that Republican save face shit where they try to split the baby somehow? Or are they just going to punch Trump right in the face? Chief SOB, the most courageous person in the USA is a trans kid getting ready for school every day. They split us with single issue voters. We're effed. We're not going to let that happen, man. That's what this pin is all about. Ride or die, baby. Don't let them do that shit online. When you see it, stop it. Mr. Knudsen, that guy has some square boxes in his closet too. You know he does. You know he does. McBastage, wait till they find out about Mark Wayne Mullen's browser activity. No shit, right? All these people, man. Lynn grins. Welcome. Vince, I'm a trans guy. Thanks for that. Hey, I am so glad you're here, my friend. The other day when Amy was taking care of that guy, that independent guy, I was approached by a young trans man that was he's like, I used to come here, I used to speak out, and I don't because it's getting dangerous. It's getting dangerous. I said, but I'm really grateful that you do what you do. And I appreciate you for saying the things you say. And man, that hit me. That hit me. This was a young person, looked to be early to mid 20s, and he was telling me a story about his family and how, where they come from. He was country too. And, the challenges that he's faced and stuff. Folks, we have to just be decent. And don't listen. Just end their awfulness. Just don't hear it. Show them the door. If they're on your social media, run them out on a rail. You hit that hide button. If somebody replies to you on just about any social media platform and says something ugly and stupid, you click on their comment. The button's on the side of their comment. It'll say hide comment. You just, boom, hide it for everybody. Just get rid of them. Take them out. We don't have to put up with their shit anymore. We don't. Chandra Patton. It has always pissed me off, these so-called Christians that act like being gay is like deciding what to wear on a particular day. They're such fragile little people that they're somebody's going to call me gay, or I'm going to become gay, or all the stupid shit in their head. It's like, it doesn't work that way, Cletus. It doesn't work that way. You love who you love. You get turned on by who you get turned on by. And there ain't no switch you can flip to change it. There isn't. Proud Mexican. Glad to see you here, man. Glad to see you. Thank you for supporting the show, man. Grace Gilbert. My daughter is in the UK, astrophysicist. Wow. Now that is a smart child. That is some math right there, man. Astrophysics. That is like math, working together because she's afraid to come home with her husband, Lithuanian. You see what we're doing? Thank you for posting this, Grace. Thank you. See what we're doing? Intelligent people, good income, the exact kind of people you want, and we're shoving them away. We're shoving them away. The brain drain that is happening here in this country is real. Our European brothers and sisters, your governments have been recruiting out of our universities. You're getting the best of us. They're hiring professors, they're hiring researchers away from us because of idiots that are running the CDC, because of idiots that are attacking our university system. We're losing them. We are. Michael Antonsu, MAGA are stupid. They are. Annie Crowley, they're sending ICE to Marine graduation. I know. That is really happening. And that is one of the things that you have to, utilize social media as a tool. Bang away on that. Because there's no independent out there that is okay with that. You will motivate voters talking about that. DTQ Gaza split us. So how do we address people like Hassan Piker? You don't. You don't. If they refuse to stop trying to suppress the vote, you just have to tell them, you're useless to me. Sorry, I support your cause, but you're useless to me. If you cannot see that the only way forward is to elect Democrats, you're useless. And then you just start blocking. Dr. Dag, thank you for being here. No shit, you just start blocking. Just get rid of those people. Mr. Knutson, very generous of you. Very generous. P. Sickler, welcome. Glad to see all the new members. Glad to see all of them. Lance Ledgerwood, the RNC is losing their mind because they were informed that no Republican has flipped a blue seat since Trump got back in office. They are truly terrified of what's going on. Mr. Knutson, one more time. MAGA, we don't like them intelligent people. They literally rail about universities and how they're liberal indoctrination. Folks, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all the support. If you're watching this on replay, you've got to watch it with the chat panel open. Our community is well above our average. These are good people having great conversations. They'll talk about things that I don't. If folks, I'll have a subject that I haven't planned to speak about, so I won't have read up on it. And sometimes I'll say something that's inaccurate. They will correct me immediately. That is how good our community is. Folks, you've got to watch this with the chat panel open. You do. And you know what? Hey, become a member of the community. If you're a good and decent person, become a member of the community. If you want to pay for a membership, that's great. But there are free ones available. Hit that join button, enable gifts so that you can receive gifts. All of these generous people in the community have been gifting memberships. Feel free, if you want to support the show, you can go to the Texas Paul store and pick up a mug. You want to show your support. We've got another No Kings Day coming up this summer. I had people walking up to me. They're like, hey, man, ride or die, baby. Ride or die. I had the pins. I'm telling you, people ask about it. When they see it, what is that pin? The skull. I did that on purpose. People see the skull and crossbones and they question. They're like, what does that mean? And it just opens the door for you to explain what being ride or die means. I'm telling you, wear them to protest, wear them around, put them on your social media, put the hearts and skulls in your bios. People will ask you about it. It opens up, it gives you an opportunity to have that conversation. I'm glad you're here, folks. Thank you. On that note, enjoy some Texas cities at night.